So something a little bit different today. We've got to raise some Aerobars but also move them back on this beautiful Canyon Speedmax CF behind me. A little bit of a complicated job. We have to basically take cables out, reroute cables, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this safely and correctly. The Canyon Speedmax has been around for about 10 years now. One of the most popular bikes on the triathlon circuit. The bike comes with a massive array of accessories and parts. Some you'll need and most you won't. But it's great to see that they actually provide this in the kit when you buy the bike. These extensions on the Aerobars are pretty much at their max. You'd need pretty long arms to reach these, so we're going to need to take them down a little bit in order to make them fit for our client. We also need to raise up 20mm at the front. Now we've got a 50mm spacer kit under the pads at the moment. We're actually going to put on an extra 20. We've ordered a special 70mm riser kit from Profile just to raise up in one unit, so it makes it a little bit stiffer and a bit more sturdy. First thing you're going to want to do is remove any accessories that are on the Aerobars. As you can see here, there's a water bottle holder. You may have a Garmin mount or any computer mount. These will need to come off before you do any work on the extensions. Once the accessories are removed, it's time to take off the existing spacers under the Aerobars. Now we're going to do the height adjustment first. It's just a little bit easier that way. Just use a 5mm Allen key for this. Be careful when you're taking it off, as if you've got a few spacers on it like this, as soon as the bolts come off, the whole thing can fall apart. So just take care when you take off that last bolt. If you're using a single spacer like this one's a 70mm, it's actually pretty easy to go on as opposed to the multiple spacers we took off. Go on in literally under a minute, and you can just do it up fairly loose for now. At the end, it's always good to go over and torque everything up correctly, but for now, we're just going to do everything just pinch tight. Once you've done one side, repeat the steps for the other side. Once that's done, it's time to cut the cables. Now, how you cut the cables is completely up to you. I usually like to trim them at the back by the derailleurs and then just pull them straight through from the shifters. Once you've removed the inner cable, it's time to just unclip the outer cable. It's in usually two pieces on these bikes, so it's pretty easy to adjust. And then just pull out the extension after undoing the little side retention bolt on the Aerobar. Once you've worked out how much needs to come off the extension, you can actually cut this several different ways. You can use a hacksaw. I prefer a pipe cutter. I find it's really neat and tidy and minimal mess. And again, repeat this for both sides. Slide the extension back in, give it a little pinch up. Once you've done this, it's time to put the inner cables back in. Now you're going to need to use new inner cables, literally throw away the old ones. Run them down through. There's actually a housing that goes down in the bike, so it makes it a little easier to run the cables through. Once you've fitted the cables back in and you've trimmed them, it's time to adjust the gears. Now I like to leave the bike for a few hours in gear. front and back, just so it puts a little bit of tension onto the inner cables. And then you might need to get a couple of little turns on the adjusters. This way you're going to guarantee when your customer goes out the door, the gears aren't going to go out of whack just down the road. As always, really appreciate your support. Any likes and subscribes you can send our way will be really helpful to help us continue making this amazing content for you guys with bike fit tips and advice.